Hi, it's Ruth here again from My English Future. Have you seen my first video about how to ask questions? You really should watch that lesson before this one, because this one is a little bit harder. It's called indirect questions, or how to ask questions politely in English. In English, we prefer to add extra words at the beginning of the sentence to be polite, and this changes the grammar slightly. Are you ready to try? Speak with me. It's very important. Here we go. I'm going to teach you 4 simple ways. Repeat after me. I was wondering if. Could you tell me? I'd like to know. And the last one, would you mind? And you need ing. Now this part of the sentence is at the beginning, before the real question. We will call this the trunk. So it's the base of the tree. It's the base of the sentence. And then, of course, you need the real question part and the question mark. These guys are carrying a heavy box, and maybe this guy needed help from this guy. Maybe he used I was wondering if. Here is the format of the sentence. Now, remember in the first video, I said you need to know, are you asking for information or are you asking for a yes/no response? If you want help from someone to carry something heavy, you probably want a yes/no answer. So, he might ask, I was wondering if you could help me. I was wondering if you could help me. This is a polite way to ask a yes/no question. I was wondering if. And hopefully his friend will say, yes, no problem. I'd be happy to help you. Now just notice here at the end of the sentence, you could help me. This is a normal sentence word order. Subject, verb, complement. So just don't forget this. I was wondering if, then subject, verb, blah, blah, blah. Here is another one. Could you tell me? Followed by a WH word. Now the person wants information. What might you ask at a train station? Could you tell me when the next train to London leaves? Sure, it leaves in the next 15 minutes from platform 5. The person who asks this question wants information. So there is a WH word here. Could you tell me the time, please? Yep, it's 4:05. This person wants information, not a simple yes/no response. So you can see a WH word here, and you can see a noun here. The third trunk was, I'd like to know. So we're going to use I'd like to know as an information question. So information questions use a WH word or a question word. I'd like to know how you're going to fix this problem. I'd like to know how you're going to fix this problem. Now, you don't always need a question word. Sometimes you just need a noun. I'd like to know the answer. I'd like to know a little bit about Australia. I'd like to know you better, which is true. If you want to change this to a yes-no question, you need the word if. I'd like to know if you are coming to my party. But these ones on this page are for information. Here we go with if, just as I introduced. I'd like to know if you have booked the tickets for Mr. Latimer. Yes, I have. This is a yes answer to a yes-no question. I'd like to know if, then subject, verb, complement. What was the last technique? We had I was wondering where, if. Could you tell me? I'd like to know question word, or I'd like to know if. And the fourth one is would you mind? Would you mind? ing. Don't say it a different way. This question requires action from the listener. For example, would you mind closing the window? I'm a bit cold. Would you mind not coughing so loudly? We're trying to watch a movie. Or better still, would you mind going outside? See the pattern? Would you mind closing? Would you mind not coughing so loudly? Just think about your everyday life. Can you use this? Absolutely. Would you mind helping me? Would you mind lending me your phone? Would you mind cooking dinner? I'm feeling really tired. Of course, it's such a common, natural question in English. Okay, are you ready to practice? I'm going to show you 4 pictures which relate to these 4 questions, and you have to try to complete them. Here is the first one, the second one, third one, and the fourth one. So, where is this lady? She's in a job interview. And these people are her interviewers. They might be asking her this question. Can you work out what it is? Here is the answer. I'd like to know if you've worked in this type of job before. I'd like to know if you have worked in this type of job before. She might answer, yes, I have. I have just done 2 years at another company. Or, no, I haven't, but I believe I have the skills to do the job properly. Let's go to the second one. This lady is struggling to carry a heavy suitcase. Can you work out this question? Here's the answer. Would you mind carrying this suitcase for me? Are you repeating after me? Would you mind carrying this suitcase for me? Number 3. These guys are a little bit lost and they're asking this lady the way. This one starts with a C. Here is the answer. Could you tell me where the post office is? Could you tell me where the post office is? And finally, this man is asking his girlfriend to marry him, but he wants to ask politely. He doesn't want to ask directly. What might he say? I was wondering if you'd marry me. And hopefully he says, yes, I would love to marry you. Here is a wrap-up of today's lesson. Don't forget, you need to know, are you asking an information question or a yes-no question? Or do you just want action or physical help from someone? If you want an information answer, do you know, I'd like to know, question word. I was wondering, question word. Could you tell me who? Could you tell me where? But the yes-no questions need if here, if. And would you mind must be followed with ing word. Please don't forget, English is not a direct language. We use lots of extra words and sentence trunks. Remember the trunk of the tree to be polite. So we use lots of would and could to be polite, especially to strangers. So next time you ask a stranger a question, don't ask, what time is it? Sometimes that sounds rude to the English person. Instead, you should ask, excuse me, could you tell me the time, please? Or, sorry to bother you, but I'd like to know what the time is. Good luck with that. I'm sure you're going to be great. You can ask me any question anytime you like. I have lots of free lessons available. Just search for My English Future on any of these social media channels. Bye for now.